Hey you guys, it's Kyra and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys a new foundation that I just picked up, and I stumbled across it in the store. I'm honestly not even sure how new it is, but I just stumbled across it in the store and was like, let me see, how this works, because this is not your average foundation, okay? So I'll be testing out the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup Sunscreen. So this is actually not like a normal foundation. This is supposed to be like a lightweight protective makeup cover, like a protective foundation that's more so for protecting your skin out and about, especially in this summer heat. So just real quick, kind of looking at the Maybelline website. So it says that the Dream Urban Cover is a flawless coverage protective makeup. And this lightweight foundation has broad spectrum SPF 50 and is enriched with antioxidants to protect against pollution. And then it also says that it is specifically formulated to shield skin from harmful environmental aggressors. And it not only leaves a natural looking finish, which you guys know I love a good natural looking foundation, but it not only leaves a natural looking finish, but it protects the skin day after day. And it is available in 16 shades and it is dermatologist tested. Now, as far as how to apply it, it says to apply this foundation to the skin and blend with your fingertips, a beauty sponge, or makeup brush. Now, knowing me, because I'm not a huge fan of like getting makeup on my fingers, like I really don't like to get too messy. So I'll probably just use a brush, per usual. And again, I'm very excited to try this out. So I picked up the shade Cappuccino, 340 Cappuccino. I'm honestly not even sure if this is my exact shade, but whenever I was in the store and kind of picking out the one that I thought matched my skin the best, Cappuccino looks to be the closest, and even right now looks to be pretty close. So we will see how this shade works out. Again, it is only 16 shades, which is not a lot. That's the only thing I'm not a huge fan of, is because it probably is going to be really hard to find your exact shade. However, I am also realistic enough to know that not every brand and every product line can have 40-50 shades. Now, one more thing is the price point, and this one here was $9.99 at my local Target. I picked it up a few days ago, and again, it's $10. So that is also a really good deal as well, because it's not crazy expensive. We all know how drugstore products are getting really expensive these days, so that is good. And also you get 1 fluid ounce for that $10. So your average standard amount for $10, which is great. So now, just going into the actual review. So I've already prepped my skin. I applied my moisturizer. I prepped my skin, of course, prepped and primed it to my brows. And I also went ahead and color corrected just a little bit under my eyes. I wanted to wear the foundation how I would wear it normally. But I did leave my lower jawline uncolor corrected, just to kind of see how it would really cover up and cancel out those darker spots. But it's supposed to be full coverage and lightweight. So that's like what I'm looking for the most. I'm looking for natural finish, full coverage, it to be lightweight, and I want to see how it wears throughout the day. Wait, I just realized that nowhere in this description did it say anything about the longevity of it. So that will be interesting to see. I'm not quite sure what that means. But of course, we'll see. So we have our protective makeup cover, and it does have more of a, I don't know like what this is called. I know it has a specific name, but it has more of that like pin-like applicator, which you're like, oh, this is pretty close to my skin tone. Okay, cool. Okay, so that I do love, because I can easily go ahead and apply my little dots like you guys know I do all over. This is like my go-to way to apply foundation. And this is my first time using this, so I'm not quite sure how much I need, but I feel like I can just apply a little bit and then build up if needed. So taking my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, one of my favorites, and spraying it with some spray, and then just going in and just blending this all over. Whoa! Okay. First things first. Y'all, look at that coverage. Literally, I just stippled in a few times, and that whole area is completely covered, which is crazy. Like literally just a few stipples covered that entire side of my face. Okay, so same over here, just kind of stippling this in. Y'all, look at that. Whoa. I guess for me, it's like whenever I think of like more protective or like just non-traditional foundations, or something that doesn't really have like the purpose of it isn't to cover up, I don't really have super high hopes for the coverage, but this is literally blowing me away. Look at how it completely covered and evened out the side of my face. I hit my lids, hit my upper lip. Okay, so one thing also I will say that I'm noticing is this smell, y'all. It's the only thing I do not like. This smells like straight up SPF. Like there's no fragrance, there's no like sweeter or lighter scent to it. It's gonna help camouflage the SPF. This smells like regular sunscreen. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of that because I actually hate the smell of SPF. I feel like it just smells like outdoors. I don't know, is that a thing? But it just does not smell pleasant at all. It's the only thing I don't like about it so far. First impressions. First of all, you guys saw how quickly that blended out. Like there was no going back over one spot. There was no working in the product somewhere else. Like just those few dots all over my face blended this foundation in perfectly. And just again, first impression, I can attest to that more lightweight feeling, because even though like my face is pretty much all covered up, I don't feel like there's anything on my skin at all. I could see myself going out and about, going out to the beach or to the pool, hanging out all day in this, at least as of now, and being okay because it feels like I just have moisturizer on. So that is a huge, huge, huge plus, because I know for me, one of the reasons why I don't really wear makeup, especially during the summertime, like most of the time, is because it's way too hot. Like way, way, way too hot to be wearing a full face of makeup, especially here in Texas where we're breaking 3 digits every day. So something like this I can feel comfortable in is super duper important to me. I want to keep this really, really natural because again, the whole point of wearing something like this is to keep it, you know, very lightweight, you know, very wearable, especially for something like going out, you know, being in the sun for a long period of time. And I also really, really, really do love that this comes with the, okay, so I love that it has the SPF in it. I just hate this really, really, really strong SPF smell. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my face and I'll be back with the final look. All right, guys, so here is the final look. I went ahead and applied some concealer under my eyes. I also went ahead and set the Dream Urban Cover foundation with my L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible Powder. Applied a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blush, and a little highlight, and also popped on a bold lip. And here is the final look. So, in terms of the Dream Urban Cover foundation, honestly, I really, really, really like it. Again, it's on a first impression, so we'll see how it wears throughout the day. But I do really like the finish of it. In terms of coverage goes, I'd give it about like an 8 out of 10. The only reason why is because I can see just a little hint of my spots down here on my lower jawline, especially kind of down here. I can see a little bit of color or discoloration peeping through the foundation, but it's very, very light and minimal. And honestly, it's something that I'm not even that worried about, because you guys know how I'm not super picky about covering everything, because I do feel like at the end of the day, makeup is just makeup and you still want it to look like your skin. So I'm not super picky or like super, you know, I won't knock it because I can still see some of my dark spots because they're there. I was a bit worried about how it would look after I applied powder, because again, I didn't want it to get too cakey or too makeup like, but even with the powder on top of it, it still looks nice and natural and skin like, and it's still super duper comfortable. One small thing, so I used a new color corrector, and I also used the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I'm not quite sure if it was that combination or if it was when I was applying my blush, because you guys know that whenever I apply blush, I simply kind of move my brush around a little bit. So I'm not quite sure if it was the moving or the movement of the brush or if it was the concealer color corrector combo. But right here in my like lower cheek area on both sides, it has like these, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of patchy, I'll say that. It's like right in here. But because it's only in the lower cheek area, I'm almost positive it's not the actual foundation. Like I'm pretty sure this is not the problem. Everywhere else looks flawless. It looks perfect. As of now, based on how it's feeling and like, you know, just how it looks and how it wears, I could see me wearing this for a long period of time out and about. That is it for my initial impressions. Of course, I'll come back throughout the day. It is 9:02 in the morning, so it's still pretty early. I'll probably come back and check in around my lunchtime and also again at the end of the day and let you guys know how it held up. All right, y'all, so I am back with a check-in. So it is now 2:19. I believe I finished off the first portion around 9 a.m. So it's about 5 hours later. And as you can see, our makeup is still holding up pretty well. I mean, of course it's oily. It's really oily kind of here around my nose, especially around there. It's like, look at it. It's super greasy. But that's to be expected because this is not a mattifying foundation, so I'm not surprised there. I do also have a little hint of oiliness kind of down here in my lower cheek area, but if you guys know, I say all the time that my nose and my lower cheek area is where I get the most oily, and of course that is where I am the most oily. So here's a close-up view of the makeup. Again, here in the nose area is like super oily, and then you see that shine spot right there and right there. That's, you know, where I'm the most oily, but everywhere else, my forehead is pretty good. My lower cheek area is nice. Same thing around here as well. So it's really just this area where I tend to get the most oily. But all in all, it still looks pretty good. Honestly, this is nothing that a light blot won't fix. And I'm not tripping too much on the oiliness. It's because of the fact that, like I said, I would wear this foundation if I were to be out for a long period of time. Typically, mattifying foundations, we all know, tend to be a bit heavier. I don't want anything that's too heavy, that I can feel on my skin, that's, you know, just cakey. Like, I don't want any of that. Like, I want it to be lightweight, and I want my skin to be able to breathe. And so with this foundation, I feel like my skin is doing just that, which I like. So just taking my powder brush and kind of blotting out the excess oil. And you can use a brush, you can use a napkin, you can use like a blotting powder, some blotting paper sheets. You can use whatever you want to use in order to get rid of that shine. But you see how just a quick little blot, tap, tap, tap there, takes it all away? That's honestly all I need. It looks really, really good and very natural. So I'm gonna come back and check in about 3 more hours, like around 5 o'clock, and give my final thoughts. All right, guys, so it is now 5:37, so it's about, what, like 3.5 hours since the last check-in, and it is basically time for me to go ahead and call it a day. But just come on here to show you guys the final look at the makeup and the foundation. So again, just slightly oily around my nose area, but honestly, after the last blot, it doesn't look as bad as it did last time, so I feel like that kind of really helped to get it back under control. I do have some oiliness again here in my lower cheek area. Same thing out here, and then now my forehead is actually pretty oily. And again, I'm oily combination, so I can only imagine how this would be if you were really, really oily. So that is something to consider whenever you purchase foundation. So it's definitely not made for oily skin, but aside from that, it still looks, as far as the overall look of it, it still looks really good. It still feels lightweight, it still feels comfortable. Like, I didn't feel like I had makeup on the entire day, which is really good and which I really do like. It is very comfortable. It's just not the best for oily skin, but it's not terrible either, if that makes sense. And then also the fact that, to me, it's not full coverage. Like, it's great coverage or good coverage, but it's not full coverage to me. And so I feel like that's a bit misleading, because if I did have, like, you know, like really bad acne, or if I had really bad scars and spots, I would be disappointed if I put it all over and I got the results that you get, you know. So those are my main cons. So all in all, I would give it about a 6.5, 7 out of 10. You know, not amazing, but not bad either. Like, it is a really good protective makeup foundation, or whatever you want to call it. Now, would I pick this up, like, if I had, you know, like a big event, or if I wanted to, like, really get all dolled up and done up? No, this is not the one I reach for, because it's not, it doesn't give me the coverage and, you know, the control that I want, but it is a good everyday foundation. Hope you guys enjoyed this review and wear test of the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover Foundation. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up, and also let me know down below, will you guys be trying this foundation out? Let me know. I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts and what you guys think about the foundation. So I'll go ahead and stop talking and catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.